Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are working on our daily color, two ducks, a male and female mallard duck as I have colored them. I gave myself homework yesterday, the homework being that I would color their bodies the rest of the way in because I find that the Crayolas, they are a very slow pencil. And that partnered with a very slow colorist means pretty darn slow. And we are actually on episode 120. So I'm seeing here that I started adding in some darker shadows, but did not blend them out. And we'll talk a little bit about this. So I kept the color tones for the light body of the mallard male duck, similar to the light tones on the female mallard duck. I've got my husband's phone here so I can share with you guys the images. Here are some pictures of the mallard showing this very pale tanned taupe. And in this particular image, the female duck is a very yellowy color. But you can see that the color, like look at the gray versus the pinky taupe. So I opted for the pinky taupe. And that doesn't look very pink. It does not look gray though. So definitely not gray. And then there's my beautiful head tones. I opted for the back of the head to be that deep blue. There is again, this I believe was the exact image that I used for the coloring of this duck. Look, he has a little scar. Either that or those are ears. And then the light tan, again, was, I went with a little bit more, it's saffron colored, where that is actually a, boy, almost like yellow rain gear because it's a shiny surface. And here is a female with the male coloring. I did not know that the female had that blue mark, and look at she even has blue on her bill, which is interesting. Let's see. So here, this is a good depiction, and see the lines. I believe this was the female that I used. You can see that brown line. So let's show you how I colored the female duck. I could definitely put more orange on the beak. I see that now. And so maybe I will do that. But at this point, I have finished the realism representation of the feathers for both the male and the female. I then played more with the, set this down, the waves. And what I'm learning here is that the colors of the black and the blue, these two colors here, I tried to do some dark lines. Completely different black than the ink lines. So I'm just not going to try to replicate it. The black is actually quite gray. You can even see there is a gray cast. This pencil has been sharpened but a long time ago, and now there is this gray film over the top. And then the blue, also, this was probably sharpened very recently, and it has not formed any kind of a waxy, maybe it's wax bloom. So I just did some lines very casually. Started with the black lines, and see they come out really gray, almost brown. So that is all of my homework I have to report on, and then I think I'm going to share with you the colors I used for, I believe I am missing, oh, here it is. Okay, here are the duck colors. First I shared with you oh, this is the brown. Black and navy blue were what I went through the water to do some added little accents, and I might play with that a little bit more. But being that these are not my favorite pencils, I'm not going to stress too much about how it came out. So here are the 3 tones. They are a nice blending set of tones, by the way. Sand 79 is my number, taupe 83, and beaver 92. So this actually right here where it gets super dark is super dark because I tried putting black in there. I was just curious what it would look like, and I don't like it. I then also, before I sat down, grabbed a mono 0 eraser so I can maybe get in here and lighten things up a bit. I just was not expecting this to go down so dark. Because it takes so much work to get the pigment to be that dark, that I was surprised that it just went down on this sand color, very dark. So I guess the lesson learned here with these Crayolas is do some sampling first so that you understand how the color laydown will be, because on this paper they actually will surprise you. They take a little bit to get that burnished, glossy finish, but when it happens, it just all of a sudden will happen. For me, it's unexpected because they're so pale when they first go down the first couple of layers, especially if you're using lighter layers. So just be ready. They will, if it's a paper that they like, they will darken up and it will surprise you. So I'm just finishing all of these little shadow bits down here. And we'll get right on into the vegetation. I am thinking most of the colors that I used on the duck bodies are Crayolas. So I already have some colors picked for the foliage on the bodies from the Pasteltints. I didn't find any problems where I did mix a Castle Arts in with the Crayola. They seem to work together just fine. Just kind of cleaning up. Evidently I've got a big line along here. So I have a pink, some greens, and then I have my book open, and I'm going to be somewhat spontaneous at picking my foliage colors. So let's look at this upper duck before we move on. This upper duck coloring using the beaver, I did not find that the beaver went down quite as dark as I expected. I've got these fun individual feather shapes. I did a base of the sand, then I took and did some shapes with the taupe. Now I'm trying to add the beaver to the top and wanting to darken up some areas, so I'm not quite done with that process. I will finish that up on my own time. I will get in here to these little shadow areas and darken that all up. But I thought that the duck coloring came out pretty good. So, on that note, those are the 3 colors that I used on, again, the back body of the male duck and the whole body of the female duck. And the one thing I told you, so I need to remember to add those 3 colors plus the black and the navy. and I said that an orange would be good on the female duck's beak, and her feet are very bright orange. So I am just taking Petunia Pink, which is funny that it is a pink because it looks very orange to me, and right next to it is another orange called Coral Blush. That's 7 and 8. I might even save these two colors for some flower colors. This only has 2 big flowers. Interesting. So let me get some of this already in on the centers, since I have them handy. I actually finally broke down. I have a Pinterest channel that I keep all of my stuff in, and I finally, yes, I am a little slow to the party, added a Color Me This Pinterest group, and added a whole bunch. You can actually from the work on these 2 flowers, starting out outer edge with a lighter pink foxglove number 11. I'm gonna guess this is the middle color, Jelly Bean 45, and the darkest color, this is again going by the barrels, Camellia 44. So there's my 3 for those 2 flowers. I've already got the centers with the orange that goes with the beak. So I finally have part of my daily color episodes loaded up into Pinterest on my board. And then Instagram, since I don't have a mature site over there, I've added some, and I'm not really getting a lot of activity on there. I hear rumor that for Instagram, if you don't already have a mature board or whatever they call it, a website, that it's very hard to get a lot of followers unless you pay money. And I'm not paying money. I am doing organic growth. And even on Pinterest, I do have a business account, but it is not one that I pay for advertising for. And they squawk at me a bit about that, wanting me to do paid advertising, and suggest that I don't have a business board with them, but I still keep the business board. And I do have lots and lots of views over there. I very rarely post on Facebook, and I actually posted my fish video on there with a little explanation of what I'm up to. I mostly keep track of my Pacific Northwest friends and family over there, and I haven't posted much since, I think, March. So it was time to do a little update. Actually, I did an update. I was at the restaurant that overlooks the arena where my horse was in training years and years ago, and some people recognized what it was and the memories. I actually had 2 horses there over the years. All right, so those are the 3 pinks, and now I've got a variety of greens. I definitely want to introduce totally different colors than the teal. I actually see a mistake that I wanted to fix right there. as I said, I was thinking of bringing a Copic multi-liner and actually doing lines in fine liner. I have a variety of thicknesses, but I think I want to just keep this one simple, not get all carried away. Again, my relationship with ducks over the years has not been the happiest of relationships. They kind of are more a thorn in my side. Okay, so we've got the pinks done. I've got 2 greens. I'm going to go with a lime, juniper lime, 22, Savannah, 24. Might need a little bit of help. I do see another more of a limey color, cowslip, number 20. So that actually goes, those two go really nicely together. And then I might try to find a dark olive in the Crayola. And then I have a fun green I wanted to see what this would look like, called Green Flower, 27. And let's see if I have a bright, here's one that might go with it, called Angelica 29. So let's see, and then I can introduce a third darker color. And then this one, Savannah 24, I think I'm just gonna set it over here. So let's get some colors going. This is very pale. These are the pastel tints from Castle Arts. There are 48 of them. They feel, like I said, they feel to me like a soft touch, or a more waxy. They kind of have that waxier, buttery feel to them. Very slick. So now let's try the darker, get some darker going here. I have my giant crayon or Crayola case that is actually a 250, and it shares space with my 150 Prismacolors. All right, so speaking of that big case, I am going to see if I can put both of these cases on the side. One thing I like about this recliner is it has a really wide, the arms are wide. I see the olive. So for the dark tone here, we're going to use Olive 75. Here's how the 3 look. I always start with light on the bottom. So let's see how that goes. So I originally had 3 250 cases, and all of my professional pencils except the Derwent Lightfast that came in a box. So I left those in the box. Well, and then there's the story of how I ended up with 2 sets of them. I already had the 72, then they came out with more for a total of 100, and I found a great deal in Oregon. I don't even know where I was on the road, and I bought that box for just a really good deal. Even by today's pricing, that was a really good deal. From the Merry Artist, Merri, I think, not Merry. And at the time, Oregon is where I used to be able to go. I would drive down there for shopping. I actually bought a horse down there one year, and so we would go and do any shopping because it is no sales tax in Oregon. But now I'm finding I'm in Florida, and if a company doesn't have a presence in Florida, I don't have to pay sales tax all that often there from things I'm ordering out of state. Okay, so there is 2 olive leaves. I've got these striped leaves, and then these 2, I'm going to make the one on the back side also an olive leaf. Again, so this is the Crayola, and it is a dark color, but you have to be pretty patient at getting your layers down and darkening the colors up. I hope on the head of the mallard yesterday, if you didn't see it, I really show the darkening when it goes from an unburnished color, kind of has a matte finish to it, and then it finally just shifts and goes all burnished as you finally get that last heavy layer down. All right, so I want to introduce, I'm going to set these right here. I see that my labels, these are mail labels that I cut. I did price numbers from 1 to 75. I actually did a whole bunch of sets of them. I think they even went higher than 75. And then I did a whole bunch of 1-1 through 50, 2-2 through 1 through 50 for all 15 sets of the prangs. So these are not staying down. And what I have found, if you have tried using a variety of different labels and you get frustrated, the magic to keeping these down is on the back side here. You put down the Scotch tape. 3M Scotch tape will hold everything down for you. And because when you zip the tape off, it gets a jagged edge, I usually use scissors to cut them. Okay, so my next 2 greens are more brightish greens. Let's see how this green flower 27 and Angelica 29 look. If I add my green, this is the lighter color, and we're going to just get some completely different coloring. Again, so we're using Castle Arts, and they have a much more waxy, smooth, buttery feel. Very quiet. Okay, so that's the lightest. Now I'm going to go with the darker color. This is not very sharp, so I have my sharpener here. I might end up with 3 green tones. Let's see if I've got a darkest color to complement. I might already have it out. Pine green might be good. This is Crayola's pine green. Let's get that over a little bit more. And let's see how that looks. So even though I suspect I don't know what the mix is of the Crayolas, they're very dry. They do layer nicely right on top of the Castle Arts. Look at that. Very nice. Actually pretty fast too. Because I've already got a base of like a wax down. This color is going down way darker. I am going to go ahead and use this dark color on these little tiny leaves. These little tiny leaves. And here's more. Okay, round, 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 round. Going to the middle tone, which is called Angelica. And it is number 29. I see some twirls of a grass right here and above the head and at the tail. So I'm thinking of going with a grass green. So a little less blue-green than what I'm working with right now, which is called pine. Okay. I'm just smoothing this middle tone out. And to finish off the pine, yep, these two brands play very well together. Okay, so gonna set this aside, but not forget, as I might have more to do. And let me grab what I'm thinking. It's a yellow-green. Oh, and then we have a lime green. Let's try these two. Again, this is just for these thin tendrils. Yes. Oh, that's got to be sharpened. More. Much better. All right, so that's lime green. I've given it number 69, and yellow green is the darker. And there's a couple more places right here. And then back here, the tail grass. And then we get to try to intermix the colors with all these different little leaves back here very quickly so we can move on to the male duck. Okay, what else could we do? I like the idea of this one. And that I want to be this blue pine green. And how about olive? Grass here. And okay, I said the blue-green. I don't want to put the two pencils in my hand away quite yet. I said the blue-green right here. And this is the middle. Castle Arts blue-green. I always put the colors in the description for the video. Cannot believe I'm up to 220. That is just amazing to me. Okay, so I see. Oops, that is me. Let's stop whacking. I'm going to do olive here. And then we will, getting a lot of pencils in my hand. Hopefully I can keep the tones straight. So the nice thing is this leaf, and this leaf, they're not touching any other leaves, so I can kind of do whatever I want to do with them. This is the lightest olive. So I'm going to set those down. I do have the grass green in my hand, so I believe I'm going to do this one black grass green, and this along the back is going to be the blue green. And the head feathers leaves will be blue green. These are the Crayolas. I have the two grass greens there. Putting down the olive. Blue greens. Yeah, that's not it. Pine. I guess it must have been these. Angelica, green flower, and pine. Okay, so I don't remember now if this was going to be olive, but it is going to be blue now. Blue-green, pine green, very easy to blend. Look at that. Simple, simple. Very nice. Okay, and then a little bit more blue-green along here. This is that pine green Crayola. Okay, let's see how well we blend out. Here's the middle, which is Angelica 29, Castle Arts. Yeah, that's nice. I'm very happy with how well these two brands play together. I think that is supposed to be brown, but now it's going to be green. Okay. The lightest of the blue-green is green flower. I'm just going back through these blue-green leaves. Very nice. And then we're getting right on. We're just not even going to pause. Oh, look at that. That should be olive green. We're just going to do the dark and the medium. The dark was the Crayola olive green, and the middle green here is Juniper Lime 22. Okay, I am done with that duck. That's what it looks like. Might fill in some more tooth with the pink. And now let's move on to this duck. So I definitely want this to be not blue-green, which is what I have in my hand. So we have a whole array. I'm going to be alternating between the three. So my very farthest back leaves with the little lines in them are going to be dark and medium of the blue-green. Not even going to go to the light. And then we have these funny little ruffle leaves. So I'm just going to be playing the rotation game. And I believe the biggest difference is going to be with the olive. So this is the Crayola olive. And the middle olive green is Juniper Lime. We now have to get our grass green in there. Crayola yellow green is the dark. I'd only have 2 tones of this, and then lime. This does not go very dark. The only leaves we have, and this is a boy duck, so I am inclined to make these little guys blue. I will probably do the top, this dark blue, and then radiating I need to pull a lighter blue. Okay, so now I've got the olive in my hand, here they are, and the grass green in my hand, and the blue green. I keep grabbing this one. pine, juniper, no, pine, angelica, and green flower. The pine being Crayola is going to be tucked in here because we're now just rotating through. Grabbing the middle color, angelica. And I actually need this to also be the same. So I will come back in with the dark. Soften that up right there, that transition. Going back to angelica to smooth that out. The lightest of the blue-greens is Green Flower 27. I didn't sharpen this, did I? I probably could use it sharpened. All right, we get to start this rotation again. So I've already done the blue-green, which means these two flowers get to be olive. Starting with the Crayola olive green. Makes me wonder what it would be like if I did have the Crayola 150, if I would get more dark tones out of the deal. The middle green is Juniper Lime 22. The lightest of the olives. I didn't even have in my hand, but it's going to be there now. Cowslip 20. Nice. All right, so we finished our olive. We're on to grass green. I only have 2 colors for grass green, and so we've got lots of full leaves here. I may have to see if I can go darker with the grass green. I see a forest green that looks interesting for this set of leaves. Okay. So I have to decide if these are all going to be the same, and I think they will. I will be grabbing that forest green. How are we doing for time? We're at 43. So I will finish this. I will go just a tiny bit long. Grabbing forest green to be the dark grass green that I'm going to need. Okay. Middle of the grass greens is yellow green. Well, I see a place where I missed the forest. Forest missing right here. yellow green, all right, that's a lot of that kind of leaf. The lightest green is lime green. I have labeled it 69, and I get to just glaze over the top, pick up the ends. A few more styles of leaves. I am going to go ahead and say that these oval ones here are also going to be grass. That is the lightest color. And yellow green. I might not even make that go any darker. Okay. And then I will put its forest green down. Let's see, we have olive green next. I will make, that is an oddball right there, isn't it? I'm going to make all of these olive, even though this one has dots. It's dots, lines, dots and lines. Close enough. I'm doing heavy pressure to try to make this go a little faster. Middle olive is juniper lime. I am going to go ahead right here, do this in the olive. Need to go with the dark olive green Crayola. Okay. Middle olive. Again, just to soften everything. This is the Castle Arts juniper. This goes down very nice. And the lightest olive is Cowslip 20. And we're almost there. Thank you for bearing with me. I really wanted to get the ducks done in 2 sittings and not go into 3. Okay. The next color tone is going to be the blue-green, which is going to be right here and out these lined leaves. Oh, can't do that. Because of the color of this peacock green, I will need to use grass and olive for those. The light blue-green is green flower. All right, how are we doing? The blue-green is not going to be done on the face. We've got this middle olive, and I am going to just put this is juniper green, and it's the middle olive. It's just the one I had in my hand. That has to be the grass green. Okay, so the lightest olive is cowslip. I'm just gonna run this along the ends. We need the grass green. I'm going to use the middle one because this is so tiny. This is yellow green. All right. Oh, and this is the grass green. Middle tone. I'm going to go ahead and put that there. All of the greens get to go down now, and I have a blue. I need to do blue bellflowers. I'm going to grab Periwinkle 32. We are not very sharp. This is my middle tone. I have a navy blue 42. This is Crayola. I'm using soft layers there because this is quite dark. I've got my mom calling. I am ignoring her. And now we'll come back through. We're not going to do a light blue. We're just doing these two. I'm grabbing grass green because we have these little tiny leaves. I did not erase the maroon in there. And I'm going to add a teeny tiny bit of pink to all of these little flowers. And I'm done. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Thank you for joining me today, and welcome back if you are returning. Do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. There is my male duck. There is the female duck. We will do this all again tomorrow. We will be starting the middle of the book. We've got 12 images to do. Actually, 16 images. 4 rows of 4. I cannot remember the 4 sets. I believe that this top one is a macaron set. I believe it's the Brutfuner macarons. So we will be playing more with the macarons tomorrow. And I may or may not decide. My Holbeins aren't here yet. The order hasn't even been picked. So I might go ahead and throw the Holbeins in with the macarons. That is how successful my Castle Arts and Crayola mix was today. So I will see you again tomorrow for more coloring.